attention on what I actually filmed. I mean, look at the odds of that. The odds are huge.
In some cases, the interactions are quite subtle and of an unexpected kind.
Bizarrely, I didn't try to make any, I didn't instigate or try to instigate any interaction, which is naturally what I would have done. So, in that sense, maybe there was some interaction, because in my rational, logical, everyday way, I would have been immediately, like, trying to get some kind of link going or whatever.
Instead of doing something, Charles remained completely passive. It was as if his mind had been zapped.
Very weird, very weird. Strangely enough, as I was just saying, you'd think after an event like this you would be really excited, like, wow, what was that, and all the rest of it, but I fell asleep immediately, which is really, I don't know, I've never quite figured that out, or why.
Many researchers have grown to believe that the lights not only have the ability to know what's on our minds, but also to play with our minds.
I think somehow those ball of light, they could sense the energy or the vibrations of a human being or consciousness, and so they appear according to what the people, their state of mind or their expectations, or
Japanese researcher Maki Masao visits Wiltshire on a regular basis to study the crop circles and the lights. As a professional debunker who already exposed many so-called mysteries, he first came over to Wiltshire to show the world there was no such thing as a crop circle mystery. From what he'd heard in Japan, he was convinced all crop formations were man-made, so he flew over to prove it. He failed. Overwhelmed by what he saw, heard and experienced, he realized he'd got himself involved in the greatest mystery of modern times.
July 1999, I was with a group of 11 Japanese with me, and
July 1999, Maki and his friends decide to do an experiment near Silbury Hill. One night they initiate a group meditation. They send out a prayer to the circle makers while sitting in this formation. Their request is for a brand new formation with 4 clear features. First of all, it must appear that very same night. Secondly, it must arrive somewhere in their immediate vicinity. Thirdly, it should arrive to their west. And finally, it must contain a Japanese element, like a house emblem or a Japanese family crest. If a new formation containing these 4 features is discovered the next morning, Maki and his friends will know for sure it is their formation, their own personal reply from the circle makers. After finishing the meditation, they decide one prayer is not enough. So just after sunset, they drive off to Shire Hill, where they continue the meditation in this crop formation. As Maki plays the ocarina, all of a sudden his friends scream in awe.
Then when I was playing this, then these 5 people who are watching me yelled, "Wow, look at that!" And then I look at that, it was behind me, and there was the big ball of light came down, boom. Then what they say is it stopped, and after that going up again and disappeared.
After about 1 hour, they leave Shire Hill and drive off to Oliver's Castle, where they finish part 3 of their meditation. There are other people present as well, performing their own meditations. All members of Maki's group feel the energy in the air, almost like a presence of some sort. The next morning they decide to fly over the area in order to see if anything new has appeared in the fields. As they arrive at the airstrip, they run into one of the pilots who's all excited.
He found the new formation. And he explained it looks like the paper was folded like this, and it just looks like a Japanese what you call, and the lady officer said, oh, it's called a Japanese origami. And he said, oh yes, that's right, that Japanese origami was down there. And I was hearing...
As they fly over the brand new formation, they realize this indeed must be their personal gift from the circle makers. It appeared that very same night, close to where they started the meditation sequence, a bit to the west, and undeniably it is a Japanese symbol.
It was just looks like a Japanese origami, and it also looks like a Japanese house emblem, family crest. You know, it's a lot of Japanese touch in it.
After the flight, they visit the formation on the ground. Maki and his friends are touched by its beauty. When they look at the map to determine the exact location of the formation, they realize it appeared close to Silbury Hill, lying on the imaginary line that divides in two the angle formed by the lines joining Silbury Hill, Share Hill, and Silbury Hill, Oliver's Castle.
Silbury Hills and Cherry Hill, Oliver Castle, and this is the origami. So yeah. It's about 30 degrees here, and it's exactly on the west, and very close. I don't know how many kilometers, and besides, it's right in the middle, 15 degrees. So
it's amazing.
You know, if this happened in somewhere in England, then
they all feel their prayer has indeed been answered. What these people did not know is that that same night, the other meditating group on top of Oliver's Castle also felt the energy in the air. One of them captured this light on a photo. And from where she took the photo, right behind her was the famous field where the mysterious balls of light were filmed as they created the six-fold snowflake formation back in '96. Little did she know that only a few miles away, the Japanese origami formation was about to be created.
Yes, right.
Yes?
It's all yours.
Okay.
A few hours later, Stuart Dyke went to the origami and shot some video footage.
We were here on a quite a late afternoon. I think it was possibly a Sunday, and we were taking some normal sort of video shots around the formation itself. And as we came to the rear of the formation, looking towards the road as you see it now, I took a pole shot 25 foot in the air, and suddenly this object flew directly past the actual frame on the video. When we played it back on the video, actually in the tram line, we were, to our amazement, we saw it, you know. And we were jumping up and down, saying to our friend, you know, did you see it? Did you see it? And it flew directly over his head, and he hadn't seen that at all.
The origami case is a perfect example of the fact that we are not random observers of a phenomenon that ignores humanity.
Behind me, and there are the big ball of light came down, boom. Then what they say is.
Maki and his group experienced a very clear interaction between their minds, their intention, and the unknown intelligence. They sent out a request. The intelligence tuned in, showed itself briefly, and granted the request. Success stories like these have attracted many researchers from all over the world. Some of them try to analyze the light by means of all sorts of equipment.